and be free. We are free. We are free. We are free. Thank you, all our guides, surrounding us with white light, connecting us through higher self, always for the highest good. We enter now all those that should join into the rose quartz crystal cave, where the most high divine source wisdom shall be placed. For all those that would have eyes to hear, hearts to open, mind to bear witness, may we hold space for one another in the most beautiful, heart-lit, love-lit way. And so it is, and so it is, here and now, today. So it is, so it is, and so it is, here now and today. Ah, what a trip! What an absolute trip. Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is 4D Trinity. Today we are doing a very special Ask Me Anything Q&A. How can I help? I'm so very grateful for this community. All the new subscribers, I swear, every single time I go online and I check in at the YouTube channel, there's more and more subscribers. So thank you and welcome, dear community. Without you, there is no us. And we have a certain way of doing things around here, and I'm grateful that you resonate. I'm grateful that everything that I offer here, or perhaps that some things I offer here, truly serve your path of sovereignty and of spiritual growth. And that's all we're doing here is we're growing, we're stretching, we're remembering how to color outside the lines of self, the lines of versions of self that we've been told that we are. We're remembering who we are in the light of love, and we're learning how to be that, how to embody that bravely and courageously in the world, in a world full of time and space that is taught duality, that is taught polarity, that is taught limitation. We come together in this place, in this sacred space on this channel to remember, to rewire together, to create a constellation of love, of light together, to bridge a 4D consciousness, a dimension of consciousness that is rooted and planted from our heart space, from the truth of who we are. And now on today's show, which we're going to be doing once a month, Ask Me Anything, what we're doing is we're considering very 3D and sometimes not so 3D, sometimes kind of out there or spiritual concepts that you have quandaries about, that you have queries about. And what we're doing is we're bridging the gap. We're bringing these 3D concerns and considerations of our worldly being, and we're seeing how can we illumine them? How can we manifest a new awareness, a new level of consideration of seeing things differently from that lit space of the heart center, from that Christ consciousness, from the ability that we all have to see through the third eye, to see love and only love. So I thank you and I welcome you. And this is a very, very powerful show. What I want to express first and foremost, sort of as a ground runner before we get going here with this beautiful community, is where I'm meeting myself and bumping into you, is that we are all really being challenged. We are being challenged. We are being invited to step up, to step into our skin, to step into this new sheath of self that we have been weaving, we've been calibrating, we've been putting together. through all of this work that we've done in this past year, through all of our affirmations, all of our healing, our growth, the ways we've been making decisions in light of who we know ourselves to be now as our higher self, of who we know ourselves to be now in the light of our own love towards ourselves. And so let's just take a breath with that, because it feels so extraordinarily powerful that we get scared. We get scared. Our old vulnerabilities might come up to challenge us. Old characters in the paradigm of our life scripts, whether they be family, friends, or otherwise, may come up to poke at us, to explore, to allow us to explore where we are at in our growth, so that we may be a witness to ourselves and experience how we will show up under the pressure, under the pressure of certain circumstances that perhaps back in the day would have broke you. And now we are no longer breakable, because we've already broken, you see. We've broken, and that which has been broken, we realize is a part of an illusion, an elusive part of ourselves that really wasn't true. And we regain then a flexibility whereby we can bend in all directions through all space and time and be unfuckable with, be sovereign, and not to defend or attack anyone or anything, but to simply reside in your truth, in my truth. Either speak or don't speak your truth without needing to defend anything, but to simply be. And sometimes your being is the exact catalyst that triggers things in other people, and that's the challenge, that's the invitation, that's the test. Because it's easy to be who people think we want them to want us to be. And if you can figure that out, then you really get it. But you know what I mean? There's certain expectations in relationships, in jobs, in career, in family, in people we know or we think we know or we don't know. And the point here, before we get into our Q&A, is that growth is on. Any moment that you allow yourself to look in a different direction than the direction that you've been going along in your world, anytime you open yourself, especially as it resonates as a truth, as a form of love, as a form of opening and expanding your experience of love, that's where more of you will be met. But that's also just appears to be, and it's just a story and a bubble of light. Sometimes those situations are those occurrences that trigger in others a response that is limited, that is judgmental towards you or towards what you're doing in your life. And you know, it's just that interesting aspect of being able to be your full self in your full power and authority, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like, and to be able to just reside and abide as that. And pardon my French, but with no fucks given. You know, I'm sure there's a lovely, sophisticated way of saying that also. Yet, I think there really is a point where when you really start to generate your truth and you come into a sense of your power, which is not caring what other people think. This can really be disturbing to some people, of being like, don't you care what other people think? Like, oh yeah, that thing. No, I'm kind of getting over that now, you know? And it becomes concerning to the world that you are not at an effect of what the world thinks of you. And so I pray that this is getting out to some of you, one of you out there. I'm going to say hello. We're going to look into blessings. NKM. Hey, are you doing psychic readings? Yes, I am. Hey, Sunita, blessings. I got your email. I have yet to look at it. So this is just like such a very, very interesting time that we are in. And, I wanted to start with one query. Sunitha, thank you for your email. We're definitely going to get into it. I did want to start on this realm over here with life and death because it's a big one. And um, someone wrote in, and now his English, he's from a different country. And so his English is different from our English. And this person writes, if I suicide, what do you think would happen to my soul? So, in other words, if he commits suicide, what do I think would happen to his soul? And I briefly responded, and we'll go into it a little bit here, but I briefly responded, I believe we decide. So, whatever you believe will happen, will happen. Ultimately, you are love. Don't forget it, is what I wrote him. But I believe we decide. What do you think will happen to your soul if you suicide? Now, and this is very interesting because there was another question that I received about that was inquiring what happens when we die. So this is a very interesting couple of questions to start off this Ask Me Anything, especially as we move into 2019, because with this coming into our power, with this reinstating just the beauty that you are at a relaxed state. Right? It doesn't mean that you're going out there to conquer the world necessarily and knock everyone down along your way. It is actually a very gentle, soft, magnetic place to land and to be, is to be in your full power and authority. And sometimes that still, quiet space can knock your own tar body, can knock your own self out of center, and also knock other people's center out of whack. And so they may question it. And how does that relate to what happens when we die? And if I suicide, if someone commits suicide, what will happen to them? I I'm a great believer in as it is for those who shall believe. So again, whatever it is that you believe, whatever it is that you've been brought up with, is what you will experience. And it's really as simple as that. And knowing, though, that all experience is subjective and that you can change your mind about what you wish to experience in any given space and time. I mean, that's a lot of work. Yet something has shifted here. If we do not want to be here, and believe me, I get it because I've been there. And I'm currently in conversations with, besides these two queries, but in conversations with a few people that really don't want to be here anymore. And I understand this dynamic, right? We understand this dynamic of the world can be a very, very challenging place to be. I think, especially as we come up in our sensitivities, as we lose those parts of self that had for so long been familiar, but that are no longer dancing in harmony with us. As we release those parts of self, and this really speaks to what I was sharing earlier, as we release those parts of self that no longer resonate as the truth of us, as the full power and authority, the version of you pressing outside, coloring outside the lines of who you've been your whole life, of who you've been told you were, there comes this duality, this dual between that part of us that is true, that is growing in alignment with the other part of us that is taught on this channel as the tar body. We have the light body and we have the tar body. And the light body, is that which we are, is the version of us when we are plugged in to love and only love, to light, to God, to source, to whatever name you would give that love, that frequency that is pure, without fear, without judgment. And the tar body is everything else. It resides in the land of duality. It loves fear. It loves when you're afraid and when you are stuck in ruts and patterns and addictions, and when you actually want to kill yourself is when the tar body doesn't really want you to kill yourself, but it loves when you are on the edge in this contemplating and perhaps being stuck in a depressed state of being. The tar body receives a lot of energy from that way, and the tar body receives less energy when your energy When your thoughts, your mind, your mouth are aligned in the way of love, in the way of light, then the tar body can't really feed off of us. So understanding that even where there is a question of suicide, where there is a question of not being here, and when it's really coming from a place of sadness, I know we can just philosophize and have beautiful conversations about this in a very sober state without needing to be depressed. Yet also, when it comes from a place of like, really, I'm ready to get out of here, what's going to happen to me if I commit suicide? This is a big, big deal. And understanding and reinstating with all of your willpower that you are love, and that any and all parts of you that can identify, that can relate to, that can surrender to love, there's a sliver of your saving grace. There's a sliver of your peace. You will be met there and perhaps be able to see things differently. I'm not here to stop people from going. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And to have this conversation, I'm very honored to have this with you. Yet, think about all the things that we're brought up with, all the notions about spirituality, about maybe religion or the church, and what denominations perhaps you've been brought up in. What of those stories truly resonate with you? And if any of those stories are in absolute perfect resonance with you, then allow them to hold you and to carry you. If you are to leave from this life, allow yourself to rest there and to trust and to know with every fiber of your being that that truth is the truth. And then one gets to just let go and believe it and be it and know it and receive it. Now, equally so, there is a sense of, is there a battle going on? Is this just a sense of self talk where the tar body has gotten the better of you and there is a call to realign your attention, to realign your energy in a way of choosing love, choosing the light, despite the tar, despite the heaviness, despite the judgments and the fears and the pain perhaps of the past, right? And we perhaps are familiar with this notion from many past postings that I've shared, that root chakra, right? It is very, very important for the root chakra to be activated, to have a sense of grounding, of connection with the earth, of connection with your body, of being in love with your body, of being okay with being in your body. And it doesn't mean that you have to post a bunch of nude selfies, although you might. But it just means that you are accepting that you're okay with being in this body for your journey while you're here on this planet. And whatever stories you've been told, those that resonate for you are those which would have you. And so, whatever you think is going to happen to you when you commit suicide or when you die is exactly what would happen to you. And I know this might seem like a cop out, yet everything is like that in our holographic universe. It is everything is a pure potential in every instant, in every moment, constantly. And to the degree that we are able to allow ourselves to vibrate as that, is to the degree that we will be met with that experience. And it's really that simple, because everything is everything and everyone is everyone. And everywhere is everywhere right now. And so if you think you're going to go to hell or something bad is going to happen to you upon taking your own life, you know, look at that trajectory, look at that journey of taking your life and where you will have yourself land versus, I know it's my time. I'm going to find a peaceful way out of here. I bless my life and I bless this path ahead of me in the highest love and light. And ultimately, right, it's not a cop out, but it leaves it up to you. It leaves the mystery up to you. And that's all we're doing, is we're figuring out our mystery. We're figuring out where we go in this life, who we are, where I should go, what I should be, what I should be doing. We're figuring all this out. And sometimes on our own, from our mind that is rooted in past situations and experiences. And so even no matter how great the past experience is, there will always be some level of limitation in the 3D until we allow it and we offer it up to a greater source, to that of love, to that of God, to that of light. And so, in connecting with your higher self, there is a sense of taking refuge, of taking rest. And what I really call for you, our friend who has an interest in suicide, what the guidance is. Oh, I realize I have not gathered the Osho Zen for this too, which I'll have to go grab. What is called is that there is freedom awaiting you, and there's a lot of healing from your youth, and I'm getting from when you were 5 years old. There is some forgiveness of the father that is ready to happen there. And that creates a whole spiral trajectory where there'll be deeper layers and deeper layers. You see, that is the path of the warrior, right? When we go within and when we explore these parts of self to be healed. And they walk with us until we have alchemated them, until we have placed love there, until we have learned and grown from them to the degree that we can at any given time. Those pains and those hurts will walk with us, and they will wear us. We will wear them in our aura. And we will wonder why we keep being met with these people, these places, these situations, or these occurrences, these karmas, these lessons, these feelings, until we have consciously looked at these feelings, healed them to the degree that we can. Sometimes, remember this last week's tarot reading, it's just about sometimes just looking in that direction creates a healing, creates the correct conditions for things to change, right? Especially when we lay our arms down and we look with eyes of love to the degree that we can. And so for you, my friend, and perhaps for anyone else listening where this is resonant, if there's a sense of getting out of here, what are you taking with you as you leave? What are you taking with you as you leave? Because there is a sense that any unresolved emotions or feelings, those will travel with you to your next destination, whether you go to hell or you go to heaven. Whatever one might surrender to, whatever you might feel is your path. And so, with honor and with respect, I invite you to consider the version of you that is young, that is small, that is ready to be seen by you, and ready to take your hand as this elder now. I have the feeling you're maybe in your late 30s or early 40s, and I think this is hard for men. You know, you are a male, and this can be hard for men, especially men that identify as men. Well, I don't know because I am not that. But it seems in the work that I do that there's a great amount of pressure on you to show up and be a certain way. And especially where there might be unresolved aspects from childhood, you can be thinking, how can I even be this man in the world? Because there's still a little boy inside of you that needs to cry, that needs to know that it can hold your hand and be shown the way of healing. So I bless you and I pray that you receive whatever it is you are guided to receive, that you receive the divine alignments, the gentle rest and comfort, that your body mind can reset. And really, it's up to you how you go and where you go afterwards when you die, whether you commit suicide or not. As it is for those who believe, whatever you believe will be, will be. That's what I offer to you. You know, and I also offer you, let it be love. Let it be love. And you are that. So thank you so much. And there's, okay, blessings. Read for guidance, Sundar. Hi, I think she is a tarot reader. I'm in late 20s. You know what? Let me go get the Osho Zen. And then Sunitha, I'm going to read your email. Let me go get the cards though. I forgot to bring them. And so, what I'll share is that, yes, if you are just hopping on here, blessings and welcome. This is my weekly live stream, 4D Trinity, where we bridge fourth dimensional consciousness through the unity of mind, of body, and emotions. And once a month, I do this show called Ask Me Anything, whereby we bring illumination through a spiritual, multidimensional, faceted level of awareness to questions and queries and considerations you might be having at this time. I do use the Osho Zen Tarot often as I serve in bringing some resolution and some light to those queries you may have. And so I welcome you and I thank you and I welcome your questions. I am going to, you can leave them in the comment box. I am going to go here and Sunita, I did not even read this. So it's going to be my first time reading this. And I pray that I serve your path of spiritual growth and sovereignty here today. So when I do these shows, I invite you to either hop on and leave a question in the comments, or you are welcome to email me. My email is down below, and I will get to your question. So, okay. So there's a few questions here. And one is, whenever I see or go through any sad and emotional situation, or even watching something very strong, or even watch something negativity, or even I hear bad or sad news, I feel a very strong pain and a block in my throat, as if my emotions are stuck in my throat. It's increasingly happening from a past few months. What might be the reason? So, whenever I see or go through any sad or emotional situation, even watching something negative, or even I hear bad or sad news, I feel a very strong pain and a block in my throat, as if emotions are stuck in my throat. Well, it seems that you are channeling your own wisdom, you're channeling your own information for yourself, Suni, in that it feels right that there is indeed a blockage in your throat. And I think this first step in you being able to write and to put into words and to express what you're feeling is a part of that resolving, is a part of that energy moving. And often as we bump up our energy and we expand in the way of greater love, in the way of greater light, again, all of that love and that light is going to bump into the tar. It's going to bump into those areas within us that have resistance, those areas within us that would rather have love be blocked. And so allowing yourself to be aware of this level of sensitivity, allowing yourself to be aware of these parts of yourself that are ready to be seen, and also allowing yourself to heal these parts, right? This is a big, 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 big deal. So when these things begin to show us, and especially when we become aware of them, it is our invitation. It is our invitation to go deeper, our invitation to explore just what is it. And so, sad or bad or negative things or aspects on the TV, in our environment, through family, friends, and situations. So, remembering that our environment is alive and responds to our perception of it. And this can be very challenging. I know this time of the holidays. There can be a lot of interaction with family, and perhaps family that we would not usually be in the presence of in such a back to back to back way, or maybe a mixture of family and friends that we wouldn't be in the presence of in such a way, and then in such a, I'm speaking for myself, obviously, in such a concentrated way for a short period of time. But like that, you know, often as our energy is getting bumped up into a cleaner, clearer, higher frequency, we will begin to realize and recognize those aspects outside of ourselves, seemingly outside of ourselves on the TV, the news, people, places, situations that don't feel right, that don't feel good in our environment. And so your first part of self and expressing that, I just want to acknowledge that, Sunny, because that's a big deal, is you being able to see it. Now, what do you do about it? Is you recognize it, and the first easiest energy tool that I would offer is you place love there. Because again, your environment is alive and responds to your perception of it. And there are some things that are obviously sad, right? Animals getting maimed. When people become vegans, there it's often because they've seen some like crazy movie about the animals, the chickens or the cows, and they're like, "That's it, I can't do it." So whether it's something to that degree, or it's just a sad story on a movie on TV, or something seemingly negative or very very violent, what's happening is your sensitivity is bumping up, and your higher self is saying to you, uh, this no longer feels resonant in the environment of self. This no longer feels that it's of service to those feelings, to that frequency that you are indeed truly generating in just resting and resonating in love, in the space of love. And you see, to get to know that feeling of being at rest in the space of love is quite often to get to be aware of what the play of opposites feels like. And so much here we discuss, whether it's in the tarot or in the shorter videos or in these 4D Trinity live streams we do, that ultimately that is the job of 3D. That is the job of this world, of this plane of time and space, is that there will be a level of duality instilled here and in all things and beings. And so that which brings that duality to a culminating shift, to alchemate, to create alchemy, is you, is me, is our ability to see with eyes of love. So when you see something in your presence, in public, on the television or whatever it might be, where there is that negativity or that fear-based charge, and you know that it's coming up for you, what you do is you detach. You use the detachment symbol. There is a detachment symbol video. It's called Zoe and Stone. Practice detachment. Later, I'll come back and I'll put a link up here. But if you go into my search bar, Zoe and Stone, then you'll see it. And what it is it's two lightning bolts side by side. And we ask the universe to run the detachment symbol for us, because ultimately anything we're seeing on the outside is what's going on the inside. And we're going to get to the throat chakra here in a moment. So everything that we see outside of us is colored by how we decide to view it. And I know it's like that. Is that another cop out? Because, well, obviously this is awful what I'm seeing on the TV. Obviously this violence is negative, right? There's these sort of domains, and we can have that conversation. But you see, as we have those conversations, then we get stuck in the duality. We get stuck in being fear-based, in perpetuating the judgment, in perpetuating the imperfection, when ultimately what we're doing is we are collapsing the time and space that we think that we see. And we, as a metaphysical, multidimensional source being ourselves, we are intentionally placing love in our vision, placing love on our tongue, placing love in our environment. And sometimes that means turning off the TV. Sometimes that means namasteing your way out of an environment or a situation. I tell this story where I have been to several different, really big yoga teachers around the world. They'll have workshops and whatnot. And you think, you're going to go spend time with this like amazing, this like world renowned yogi, and OMG, this is such a big honor. And there was one particular chap that I remember I went in, and he'd had a very revered, just a following and really pure, powerful, grid about him. And I went into this workshop and I paid the money and I went in, and within 2 seconds, I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't wait to get out of there. And I had to really sit with this for a moment and be conscious of, what am I projecting onto this person? Am I just bringing my negativity? Was I pissed at someone earlier and now I'm projecting them? Is there something about his shoes or something funny about him that I'm getting caught in a judgment? Why can't I just be in the presence of love with this teacher? When I liked this person online, but in their presence, I had this reaction. So I sat and I stayed and I prayed and I played with the light and with the energy there. And I could only stay 20 minutes, and then I could just feel this resonance in me that my higher self said, just it's okay to remove yourself. You can namaste your way out of this environment gracefully. And that's what I did. And it was a beautiful turning point in understanding that you can do that, right? And in doing that, you maintain that frequency, that clarity, that purity of that frequency that you are coming into, which is you without the polarity. Now, with that, oftentimes this will require an opening of the throat chakra, because the throat, our voice, our expression, what we communicate with our voice is that which anchors our experience here. This is our, hey, if Will is watching, I remembered what it is. This is our spiritual integrator, how we speak in our life, who we speak to, how we speak over our lives. We spiritually integrate or not our experience through the words we speak. And so, if the throat chakra is beginning to come up for you, then what I'm intuiting for you is that there is a time to be silent. There is a time, right? There's this balance in the throat chakra, which isn't always about speaking, it isn't always about talking. There is this other level of working with the throat chakra that is about listening. Listening. And listening not just with the ears of the head, but listening with the ears of the heart. And allowing for a much larger strata and picture to be painted for you, of information to be shown to you, especially if you're seated in a level of awareness with these aspects now. There's something. There's something here for you and something to be shown. And sometimes it is about you simply saying, oh, this doesn't match, and these are just my words, but this doesn't match the frequency that I feel good in. So I'm going to turn this show off. Oh, the energy of this environment, I don't have to judge it, yet I can recognize that it's not really serving me at this time. So namaste, I'm going to leave. Do you know how powerful it is to be able to actually speak your truth and to learn how to do it in a graceful way that does not place judgment on others, that does not place judgment on yourself, that doesn't limit anyone or anything, but to be able to master your tongue and your voice is really such a powerful gift. And I feel that that's what you're being initiated into, Sunny. You're being initiated into your ability to speak your truth without disrespecting or putting anyone or anything else down, and to also to honor and to recognize this new level of sensitivity. I have a book, a free book called The Nowosphere, which you can download on iBooks and also at Kindle. And it speaks directly to this, what we've been talking about from the beginning of the show, where we are laying our shields down. We are not who we were a year ago. We are not who we were 6 months ago. We are coming into a new level of empowerment. Yet with that, there may be those around us that don't want us to change and to grow and to shine maybe a little brighter for whatever reason, but we don't have to judge that. There may be, as we grow into greater love and to light, we begin to see the juxtaposition of what is not love and light in the world. Again, we are invited not to judge that, not to continue in an interplay of separation consciousness, but to relax into how can I see love here? How can I see this differently? How might I place love here? And it always starts with placing love here, just as a thought in your mind, upon your tongue, maybe saying it out loud. And again, you can use the detachment symbol, which is a double lightning bolt. Energetically, when you call on the detachment symbol, you just do it silently within. What happens is we become detached from the thoughts that we would bring to the person, place, or thing or situation. So even though you can watch one of those films on the atrocities of cows and chickens that make people go vegan, and that can conjure up all sorts of negative feelings, which is natural. Yet it's to the degree that we keep feeding those negative feelings or those negative thoughts and repeating them and get them on repetition is where we can fall short, in that then we get sucked back into the judgment, into the loop of the world, into the domain of those limiting notions. Whereas it's okay to honor, to express, to see what it is, to feel what it is you're feeling, to have your own awareness and discernment, which is not judgment. Does this serve me? Discernment is your higher self making a call. Judgment is our 3D human self that makes decisions rooted in the polarized notions of fear versus love. So I pray that that serves you. The throat chakra is a very, very exciting land, though, to activate as your spiritual integrator, because you are stating, you are mastering your time and space. You are beginning to become deeply aware of what really is serving you and how to move forward on that domain by speaking it and also by not speaking it. Oh, and this is interesting. In your part two, you say, I love to implement a lot of tools, learning from your spiritual videos like placing love, which is what we just talked about, in the bubble of light, the shared bubble, erase, replace through all time and space. I go to the point in creation of energy condom. Okay, so this is a really wonderful subscriber who has watched every single video. And I look forward to making more. I tap into the essence and many more. Do you think the healing is happening as I feel so happy and at peace after doing one or more or many of the above? Should I continue, or am I hurting others knowingly or unknowingly? Please guide me in this regard. Are you hurting others knowingly or unknowingly? You know, what I have to offer about that is that if you are in resonance with any of the energy tools, with any of the teachings, whether they come from this channel, anyone else's channel, any book, any self-help book, or a sacred uh, a sacred source, a sacred scroll, if they are in resonance with you and if that is what brings you joy and makes you happy, that is the marker, right? That is our marker for what is our truth, for what is true to us. And so we know I can't tell you what to do, but I can reflect back to you that if it feels good, if it feels resonant, if it feels that it makes you happy and it's not harming anyone else, then that is so. Then that is so. You know, and again, there is this interesting aspect that we were sharing at the very beginning of this live stream, this aspect of as you grow, as you expand. And I don't know if I'm on the right trajectory with you, Sunny, but there's that aspect that as you grow and as you expand, you become enlightened. You lighten up and you start to enjoy yourself, your life, your body, your work, your day to day, everything more and more and more. And that might bug people. It might get under their skin a little bit, which, and you know, I don't have those experiences all the time, but I've had a few in this last little bit. And I forget that that's a part of the 3D reality. I forget that that's a part of that. Sometimes your joy is someone else's seeming sorrow, but it's all part of the illusion in the binary realm that we speak of here. It's all a part of the illusion because it's juxtaposition, it's love versus fear. And what we teach here in the space we hold here is bridging our awareness, our consciousness into that 4D realm where there's love and only love. And so we get to be the grid runners, if you will, the beings at the beginning of this renaissance that are holding space with as much clarity and compassion as we can for ourselves and for others. And so, again, if it brings you joy, if it feels resonant as truth to you, if all these tools resonate, well, thank you, number one, for telling me, because I look forward to continue sharing them all around the world. And like you, I know you're in India and I'm here in California. And these things really touch you and they move you and they work for you. This is the thing as well. When you are guided to certain energy tools or workshops or retreats or exercises, whatever they might be, energetically and spiritually, if they work and they feel good and they put you in your center and your power and with a sense of clarity rooted in love, that's priceless. That is priceless. And so I encourage you to keep doing that and allow all the ways that those tools come to you, whether it's through this channel, through me, and through other teachers. And allow yourself to keep exploring. And as I was shuffling, these 3 cards fell out, and I think it's just so beautiful because look at your first card, Suni, is flowering. This is so very powerful. This is the Empress. This is the goddess who moves, who thinks, who speaks with love. If you're on Instagram, I posted a little video this morning. I like to spin with the staff and sometimes dance with the staff and just share in movement with the staff. And from time to time, I'll post a little video on the Instagram, and there's the sense of really surrendering to love and allowing love to guide you, allowing love to move through you, through your actions, your words, your deeds, your thoughts, your vision, your tongue. And that's exactly what flowering is. And like in this little dance, this little post of movement I did on this Instagram this morning, that's exactly it. It's just getting out of the way, getting our mind out of the way so we can have this total experience. There's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trapeze act here going on where there are three people, right, in this performance. There's one at either side, and you are the one in between. You are the space in between, Suni. But unless you, I, we show up and totally extend and totally hold that space of love, right, is to the degree that we will experience it, that it will be given back to us. I pray and I affirm that these messages are serving you, that they are of revenance. Revenance. That's a new one, resonance. Because look what's here is change. Change. You are changing, Suni. You are changing alchemically and keep going. The codes of yourself are switching and shifting. You are changing. You are changing, is what the message is from your higher self. You are flowering. You are coming to know who you are in the vibration of love and only love. You are coming to know who you are in the field, in the vibration of being that which you are with no opposite as love. You know, when we talk about this around here, it is the dropping of atoms, it is the relinquishing and the releasing of those grids, of those thoughts, of those memories of who we've been told we were, no matter how old you are now, whether you're 20, you're 60, you're 40. All those stories of who we thought we were and who we've told we were, as we begin to loosen, those things just start to loosen as we choose love, as we allow ourselves to surrender to love. Those old paradigms begin to loosen, and then we begin to feel that throat chakra. What do I do with this voice? I'm feeling more sensitive to negativity, to violence, to environments. I'm becoming more aware to what is truly sustaining and nurturing my presence, my ability to continue being love and only love, to continue sowing seeds of love and only love without judgment, without fear. So do what feels right to you. And thank you so much for your queries and your questions. I really appreciate it. And we're going to have a look up here. Oh, blessings, Mia. Welcome. Blessings. Blessings. Okay. So we do have some inquiries, but let's see here if we have. Yes, you may ask a question. Oh, oh, blessings. And read for guidance, Sundar. You can place your query here. A Canaan, or Canon, if I am pronouncing that correctly. You are inquiring about something up for you for upcoming year. So, does this mean that you are curious about your upcoming year? It feels that it is. It feels that it is. And I'm so grateful, and I bless this beautiful community here. I pray and I affirm that everything I share truly serves your path of sovereignty, of your ability to be free, your ability to be uh, relaxed in the truth of who you are. And again, this can be very, very challenging because we don't know who we are. You know, and it's a part of the quest of what just naturally abides and happens in our ability to explore that and to not get knocked off of our center when that's challenged by others, but to allow ourselves to rest and to feel our full power and authority. You sent the mail already. Oh, well, let's go ahead and have a look here. And I'll let you know if I received it. And as long as you sent it, okay, here we go. Okay, so there is a question here from Um, I'm just going to call you Deep. I am separated from a very close associate at work for past 6 months. I had everything to get along and work the same person for longer time, but missed it to work politics. I felt like this person played a part in it too. However, I still have that stuck in my mind, and I get weird dreams as if I am working in that team. Though I know people involved did not support me due to their own struggles, I still keep hoping that offer to come through. Whatever other things I involve me doesn't work too. Feeling stagnated at thoughts and mind. Will I really get the same offer I missed, and how soon? Okay. I am separated from a very close associate at work for 6 months. I had everything to get along and work the same person for a longer time, but missed it to work politics. You feel the other person played a part in it too. Will I get the same offer I missed, and how soon? So what I'm getting right away, Deep, and I'm aware as well, Canon, that you did ask a question, and I invite you to maybe as we're addressing Deep's question, to, if you're guided, to get a little clear, gain a little clarity on that question, and I will be happy to come back to you. Okay, so being with that. So Deep, right away, what I get is that this job opportunity is not coming back to you. Whatever that was, it's not. But also that it's okay, because there's something better for you, and there is a lesson to be learned here. There is there is a level of work politics going on. There is a level of play, of interplay, but also it's not without its cause, because it does feel that it feels that there's on one hand, what I'm getting is that there's one person there. There's one person there that there's one person there that stirs the pot, that creates the drama, and they're very good at it. And because of that, it serves as a distraction for everyone else to be distracted by. And so, for some reason, this somehow is tying in. So, higher self of Deep, how is this tying in to their work situation, their current work situation, and with this person? So, whoever this person is, higher self is saying that you have not forgiven them, that while they do, it's almost like the class clown. It feels like they have a very high ability to draw the light to them, in being the spotlight to them. Yet it doesn't take away from your performance, from the space that you hold there. How it does take away is to the degree that you have this perceived notion about them, and that you, again, repeat it, that you perpetuate it. So what's going to happen is, as you forgive them, as you allow yourself to come out of any notion of feeling that they have power over you, you're going to come back into your power. So what's happening is that, because of this situation that occurred, and what I'm hearing is that it really wasn't for you. There is a sense that you feel it was for you, because there were a few things about it that lined up, that felt really resonant, that felt like, oh, yes, 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 this is what I should be doing. Yet there's more for you. What I'm getting is that this was a test run. This was a trial run. And this was more about your ability to be noble and true, are the words I'm getting. This was more about your ability to practice integrity than to get this version of this job here. Now, I'm hearing it could come back around in time, but by the time it comes back around, you will have changed. And you won't want it. You won't have the same want for it. And even more than this position, what I'm getting is with this politics at work with this individual is your view and perception of them is actually what's blocking you. And so, whether it's in a 3D, in a face to face way of having that conversation to dissolve any stagnant energy, to dissolve what might be holding there, your ability to be present with them and to say, you know what, I know things got a little weird last week or last month, but I just want you to know that it's all good and I wish you the best and congratulations, or, whatever that might be. And of course, to do it with as much integrity and authenticity as you can so that you're not lying, that you are coming from a true source, a true space of self. Yet there's a sense that let's ask the cards. There's a sense that you're giving them you're giving them more power by paying attention to them in the way that you're perceiving them currently. Now, it's very interesting. The Lover's card came up. Is this person somehow connected to someone that you like? Do you both like someone? Or do you both have an interest in someone? And because they are the class clown, they are the loud one, they are the one making all the noise, so to speak, that they seem to get the attention of that person, uh, while you don't. Is there something interestingly going on like that in the background? Because these are the cards that are coming up, and we always ask for the highest good and for that divine guidance to come, right? And sometimes higher self is going to dip into those more complex aspects. And I see you wrote something, so I'll read it here shortly. And just to show you these other two cards that did come up, nothingness and breakthrough. So there is a sense of you coming into nothingness, where that is that black blank canvas and palette of being the version of self that has no mind about it but love, that has no judgment or no resistance, that can really celebrate the success of this other person and detach. And that is the gift here, because that position was not for you. There is something better for you. And I'm also getting it might be at a different place as well. I felt like 6 months of lull for me, like a slap to come to senses with loving myself and appreciating my goodness. I felt proud that I stayed professionally and emotionally right. I like the person. I felt positive and growing when I worked with the person. Well, this is it. That's fantastic. This is fantastic. So it seems to be evolving. You seem to be taking an enlightened stance, an enlightened ability to transmute any feelings of suppression into this new level of understanding, which is really so beautiful and so very, very powerful. So it seems that the real question here, as it abides, is what about this position? If the situation with this current person, and this is the card of possibilities. If the situation with this current person is is flowering and is turning into something actually very harmonious and equilibrious, what a teacher it sounds like. What a great gift and teacher this person is or has been for you. Um, where there may have seemed to have been some politics, some behind the scenes, more complex aspects working out. What is allowed and what is guided here from higher self is to allow, and which it seems that you've been doing that, is to allow all those stories to drop away so you can be in the full presence of what is actually occurring. And I feel that this is the reward, is your ability to learn from this person, is to take all of those situations or those seeming judgments, those seeming polarities that are beginning to melt away, and to use that, to use those skills that you've learned in this situation with this individual. And also to know that you have not missed an opportunity. So let's go ahead and ask about this opportunity for deep Let's ask about this opportunity. What what should Deep know about this opportunity? What should Deep know about this opportunity? Or about any like opportunities coming? What would you like Deep to know about the opportunity that has been, about opportunities to come, about opportunity in general? So, beyond illusion, so this recent situation has definitely been an opportunity for you to grow energetically, for you to really see yourself in a bigger way, and that's been our theme of our Q&A today. And look at what came up next, Deep, is traveling. So, like I said, there is this sense that this opportunity, or this new opportunity, you have not missed anything, and it's coming. Whatever this new opportunity is for you, you see, and what's next is this new vision card. So there's something even bigger for you. But what you got to learn from your current situation is actually serving you energetically, vibrationally, so that as you integrate the humility, right, the humble teachings, the levels of awareness that you are gaining in this situation, you are just naturally unfurling and opening yourself up to your enlightened state, to who you are as your higher self. And as that happens, what I'm actually seeing is a whole other, with this traveling card, is a whole new job, is a whole new place, is a whole new understanding of who you are and how you want to hold space and work in the world. And so that's very, very powerful. And that is a gift that this person is giving you as you would have it. Yes, I feel he was tied to issues. What he did must have been all that he could. And blessings, Caroline. You know, thank you for saying that. That is a very, very evolved, beautiful way to think about things. It is a very, very beautiful way to think about things, because that's ultimately what's going to set you free, Deep, is to trust that everyone is just doing the best they can with what they have. Everyone is doing the best they can with where they're at, or with any given situation. And it can be a tough one, but not to take things personally. Um, because once we go in that domain of taking things personally, then we get to spin a story around that. And that's exhausting. That can just be very, very exhausting to carry that kind of a story around with us. And then that becomes a story through which we see all else, right, through the filters of that. So thank you for sharing your consideration and your query. I'm very, very grateful. And I thank you so, so very much for opening up your story for everyone to hear. You know, I pray and I affirm that everything that we share here serves not only those that are inquiring here, but also those that are just watching, that are just listening, that are just here sort of browsing through. So you say, I'm trying to come to my senses with that. True, we're all tied to situations. You know, yes, we are. And it's what we do with it on our side, you know. What we do with it from the inside out of us is just exactly what's going to be allowed to be there. It just is. When we have negative feelings and we project that onto the person, place, or situation through all that film and all those filters and lenses of negativity, specific to me, say, to what my ideas of what that might be in any given situation or with people and environments. When I place that film and those filters over a situation, those people, those places, those things on the other side of that film are only going to show up to the degree and the lightness of the light that I place there for them to show up through. And we know here at this channel, what we preach, what we teach, what we walk, what we learn over and over again is that the truth of us is love. Ultimately, we are not bodies. We are having a 3D experience. Doesn't mean we can't love our bodies, right? And going back to the very, very beginning question about suicide and what happens when we die and all this stuff, it is about accepting this vehicle, this temple, and being here, but also understanding that while we're here, while we've accepted this beautiful gift of being present on this planet together, that we are given a constant opportunity to reproduce, right? Feelings, emotions, experiences to the degree that we repeat certain thoughts and words and perceptions. Yet ultimately, the truth is that we are love. And any and all teachings, tools, practices that bring us back to that help us to instill in placing love and seeing love over and over and over again with our spiritual will. It is a muscle, our spiritual will, our ability to see love, to choose love. And metaphysically, through the dimensions of time and space that we create through our thought and our word, those timelines of illusion, of fear, of negativity, of whatever it is, of judgments, those begin to dissolve. And so what is left is the presence of love. So again, yes, to the degree that we come, whether it's a crush, whether it's a job, whether it's someone we're having some weird stuff at work with, let me just see them with eyes of love. If you need help, ask your angels, ask God, ask your gurus, whatever deities or whatever, whoever it might be that you pray with. If that is a part of your world, you can always ask for help. Help me to see this differently. Help me to place love here. And then you drop the mic, you let go and you walk away and you let love, the quantum organizer, do the work for you. You don't try to figure out how that's supposed to look. You simply allow love. You keep giving love the right of way over and over and over again with your spiritual will, your musculature, to allow love, to see love, to surrender to love. And what happens is then love is the filter through which those people, places, and things will show up. And people will surprise you. They will surprise you because love is our inherent natural state of being. Now, sometimes they'll surprise you with love, and sometimes they'll surprise you with resistance to love, and that's okay too. But it sounds like you're on it and that you're doing everything in the most beautiful ways. So, blessings. So, we are going to move along. I will do a past life reading for you. That's so sensible. Love you for that. Okay, blessings. Now, is this you again? So, let's go ahead and scroll up a little bit. Okay, now I did invite you, A Cannon. Now you did sign on a little while ago. Something for me for upcoming year. I just want to make sure that you're still around before I go into that. So I'm going to go on to how does my crush feel about me? Kayanat Bokhari. Kayanat. Okay, blessings, Kayanat, and welcome. Blessings and welcome. And I want you to understand, and everybody who might be stopping by and watching, that here, when I do the Ask Me Anything once a month, how can I help? That all of the information that will be channeled through is rooted in spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness, is guided by love, and will always have a metaphysical bent or slant on it in the way that the guidance will invite us to see things multidimensionally, to see into the invisible realms. So Kayanat, oh, we had some cards fall. Let's go ahead and see what the Osho Zen offers here. And for the highest good, if you were a part of our intro, we are doing all of this work in a rose quartz crystal cave where I am connected to your higher self for the highest good, that being the higher self of all, and allowing the most high divine downloads and insight to come. So Kayanat, what I'm getting is that it's time to let go of this crush. And in fact, there is a letting go that has already happened to a degree. And from that letting go, there's a healing that's ready to happen. There's a healing that's waiting to happen on behalf of you and on behalf of both of you. And this is really a time to what I'm getting that they're doing is I'm getting that they are where they are at is being in the past. They are clinging to the past in the sense of they are not seeing they are not seeing what's in front of them. Okay, and you know what I'm getting? You know what I'm getting? And it may not be something you want to hear. So I just preface this by saying that I really have no investment in things being one way or another with your relationship or with your crush. But what I'm getting is that they're not up to speed for you. They are still in the past about something or someone, and the guidance from your higher self is to go ahead and let them go. Because on one hand, you're clinging to the past. You have had some sincere moments with this person, some beautiful fluid connection. Yet that's only to bring you closer to, I feel, what's really about to happen for you, which is a level of love and communion that is something that this person can't give you. So the cards are saying have fun with them, enjoy the feeling of the crush, but there's also this sense your higher self is saying that you've already let go, and maybe this is a pattern. Maybe this is coming in layers where you get to let go over and over and over and over. Yet in your silent moments, and I know some of these cards are very well worn, but this is the card of silence. In your silent moments, it feels like you've already cried a little tear. Like you've really got into this person. You crushed. You crushed. But also, as you've crushed, you've realized that they're not available because they're living in the past and because they are projecting that past into their present with you and with everything. And so, while there is a feeling of connection with your crush, there's also a sense they that they can't give you what you really need, what you really want. I don't know if you meditate, Kainat, but this card is saying that new levels of awareness are ready to open for you, but only as you are available to allowing this crush to go. Um, and then you reach a new level of completion and you see the third eye being clicked into place here in this puzzle. So there's something that you're not seeing about them. There's something that you're unaware of. And while it's a very, lighthearted question, what does my crush think about me? How do they feel about me? What I'm getting is that your crush is while there could be potential for the two of you, it's not going to be what you need it to be, what you want it to be, really. What I'm getting is keep it in crush land. Have fun. Have fun in the fantasy of the crush land and allow yourself to, from a distance, explore that feeling and know that feeling of crush, because I feel that crush is for you. We're going to keep going. I feel that crush is for you. We're going to pull another card for you. But there's a level of you letting go and going with the flow. And as long as you are fixated on this one person, your ability to complete with a sincere sense of letting go, which is just you really being honest with yourself. It feels like there's something you already know about them that has ushered you into a sense of like, okay, let me just let this go. And we don't know, right? The tarot and whatever the divine guidance, even especially, I was going to say, especially from higher self, often will tell us one thing, just to allow our synapses, our ability to calibrate our awarenesses on a different level to activate so that we can see things differently, to set up a new paradigm for a new level of experience for us. Whether that happens or not, with this individual or not, is a whole other thing. And whether you actually get with your crush or not is not up to me. It's up to the divine forces of the universe. So either way, to allow that to happen, and we don't force a will, we're not manipulating, we don't do any of that stuff here. But the metaphysics of it is you're completing, you're letting go of that crush, like energetically, like really cutting the ties, really saying, you know what, I give it to God, I give it to source, I give it to love, I give it to, whatever the goddess of love is, whatever you want to imagine. I give it to the light. You light a candle and you say, you know what, I give this crush away. And for the highest good, I allow that only if this feeling is supposed to stay with me, if only if this person is supposed to keep orbiting in my world for the highest good in ways that have purpose and that serve my growth and this feeling that I have, so be it. Other than that, let it go. And it is through that letting it go, whether they come back or not, that a new level of completion is done. And then you're at a new level of vibration. You begin to vibrate differently without this fixation on this other person that allows a new person to come in. Again, that I get, see, this is you. This is you. This is the card that fell out. When you start to, now whether you're male or female, this is the Empress card. This is the Goddess card. But again, whether you're male or female, this is simply love and only love. Our ability to receive love, our ability to give love is embodied in that card. And so love is right around, I feel like it's right around the corner for you. But this person that you have a crush on, they're fixated on the past. They bring the past into the present, and they're unless something shifts within them, they are currently unavailable to be what you need and what you want in your life at this time. Okay, so blessings. I'm going to move on and we're going to look at another question. I'm also going to open the window. It's getting a little warm in here. So pardon me 1 second. Let a little air in. And we'll have a look. We'll come back to the questions. So I pray that that serves you and that it has some resonance. Okay. Let's see. I understand. I've known her for 5 years and she is like a mentor. Yes, I just want to be sure how she feels before I make a move. Mm, right, right. And Shabana, yes, please ask a question. Go ahead, put it in the comment box. You've known her for 5 years. She's like a mentor. You just want to be sure. You know, I honor that. Let's go back in and let's just, for the highest good, and I want to make sure that I have your name correct. Yes, Kayanat. So how does she feel about Kayanat? How does she feel about Kayanat? Well, she knows. She's aware. She's very, very aware of this feeling. This is how she sees you. This is how she sees you, which is very, very powerful. Yet, what I'm getting is that play. There's this play of energy between the two of you with the suppression and the postponement. And you know what it feels like to me? It feels like, so if this is how does she feel about you, she feels this way about you, which is fantastic, that she sees you with that much power and strength and clarity and energy. She sees your energy, your light. Yet, again, right? Remember at the beginning, she's clinging to the past. There's this postponement. She's not allowing herself to be fully in the present with you due to her own issues. And there's stuff there that's suppressed within her system that has not healed, that is in so many ways the reason why she can't be and give you what you feel you need from her now. And you might feel very willing to say, well, let's work it out, I'll be here for you. Yet there's a notion again from your higher self that your ability to energetically let this person be who she is, and for you to maintain your center and your power from a detached place, and to have an almost a closing, like for 2018, to write an energy letter. If you're new to me or to this channel, type into the search bar later energy letter, and I have a few videos on it where you write a letter from your higher self to their higher self, and you say all the things you need to say to get off your chest, but you actually don't put their name on it, and you don't put their address or a real stamp on it unless you really want to put a stamp on it. But you generally, it's to their higher self, and you don't have to put anyone's name. You can burn it, you can bury it, you can put it in the post box. Again, no stamp, no address, no names. But what it does is it gives your higher self the ability to express, to communicate from you to them what is important to you, what's been in your mind, what's been in your consideration. And in the invisible realm, in the metaphysical realm that we work here, that's what we're doing is we are moving energy in the invisibles. We're having a conversation with their higher self from ours, and for the highest good, to the degree that they are able to receive the messages that we are sending, they will receive them. There's never a force of will in anything we do here ever. And so, to the degree that they will receive that, is to the degree that they might become aligned, that they will hear you, that they will either heal from that to some degree and start to show up in a greater light, in the version of who you can imagine that they are, but also that you can see them in that light too. And so it offers the 3D exchange in reality to have a reset, because you get to say things and express things that perhaps you haven't been able to do in the 3D. And so that is just a little guidance here for you. Because the politics card is here, which means unless there is a level of truth, I've had this in my life where you're like, my God, this feeling is so very powerful. What do I do with it? And again, you're giving it to God, you're giving it to Holy Spirit, you're giving it away, you're writing them energy letters, and you're saying, look, I have all of these feelings. I don't know what to do with them. It feels inappropriate. I don't know if it's right. Do you feel the same way? Where so you can say all that in the letter, and it will never get to them in the 3D, but energetically it will get to them. Because when we don't, and when we just have all this stuff rocking around in our mind and and not directing the energy right consciously, then it turns into politics, and all of a sudden we start to wear this mask and then another mask where we're not being our full true self. We're not being with heart, right? This is morality, where we start to build a cage around our own heart. And it sounds like you're into this person, yet that cage creates a postponement within us and within them. And I'm going way off here, but at the same time, there's always a sustaining of source of God, of love. There, we are always taken care of, and I think that's the beautiful humility part of this puzzle, is that when we are not forcing a will, when we are not trying to make things be what they are not yet, they are allowed to be just what they are. And often with these crushes, with these mentors, or in these situations where there's these interesting, complex kind of layers, it's about letting things play out, my friend. And I know it feels that there's a time, right? There or might be a lack of time, or like you have to start doing things. Yet, if it is, if it is meant to be, time and space will fold around you, will fold around her. It will be it will become a comedy in how absolutely clear that trajectory is. Yet again, what I'm getting, and then we'll finish up, and I'll move on. But what I am getting is that it's that honoring of what has been, of saying what you need to say from your higher self to her higher self, putting it in a letter, letting it go, burning it or whatever, and letting that piece of the puzzle. Maybe even telling her in the letter, like, I need to let you go now, because just so that the energy of this relationship, as you know it, can reset itself in a greater level of love and of light, and that you might see things that you don't see. Because as well, that card in the tarot, the completion, where the third eye, that piece of the puzzle is being placed into the third eye, speaks to, you don't have all of the pieces together yet. There's something that you don't know about, that she is still, whether she hasn't completed pining over an XXX. I feel like, was she married before, or she was in a very intense relationship that was long term? And it's not that she necessarily still loves this person, it's just that we all have these cycles. We all have cycles. I was in a 5-year relationship. It took a year and a half at least, maybe a little more, before there was just this natural cycle. The death of that relationship is now complete. And now there is, I'm not trying to look for a new relationship, but there is just this natural part of self that is entertaining, that is more at ease in entertaining those thoughts if they bubble up, or those considerations as they bubble up, that isn't like, oh hell no, I'm still healing from this relationship, you know. So I pray that serves you. So there's cycles and there's changes, but there is this letting go. You get to consciously cut the cords, let it go, so that all that energy can, as it serves the highest good in this relationship, being and becoming what it is supposed to be, it can regrow new levels of connection for the highest good. And if it's guided to move in that direction, it will. But I pray you understand that a part of the alchemy of that is you honoring what it is already, seeing that this person can't really give you that 100% of what you need right now, what you think you want right now. Because there may be a part of your puzzle that you don't see yet either. And in letting go for now is how that will be revealed. Okay, so I pray that that really serves you. I get it, it's complex. So thank you so much for your inquiry. Oh, there's some interesting comments here down below as well. Wow, there's some comedians in the house here. Really funny comedians. Okay. Johnny. Hi, Johnny. Blessings. Blessings, blessings. Interesting. You're welcome, Kainati. So listen, friends, you tell me, should we do some more? Do you have a question? Oh, blessings. Sending you much love back. So, if there is a question, we will stay. If there are no more questions, I will bid you a farewell. So very grateful for this beautiful community. I truly, truly am. And let you know, every week, this is a 4D Trinity live stream show at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bridge fourth dimensional consciousness through the unity of mind, body, and emotions. And it is in that alignment, that enlightened, conscious alignment of mind, body, and emotions that we click into the perfect blueprint of spirit that we are aligned with naturally, the superpowers, the supernatural abilities to be that which we are as that perfect blueprint of our higher self, of spirit, of love, of light. And when that part of self that is always with us is allowed, is given right of way, that is the sovereign domain that we can then relax within and allow the higher good to be done for us, through us, and to us, where we can relax and allow love to show us the way, where we can drop control and the need for things to be any different from how they are now, but learn to be in the now moment. It is so very powerful. It is so very powerful. Someone recently said to me, and a friend of mine, or said to me about me, myself, and a friend of mine, and it was intended as a critique, as a hard critique. She said, "You and him, you're like never in the past and you're never in the future. You're just like always in the now." And I thought that was a wonderful compliment. I said, "Oh, well, thank you." But it was intended to be, something negative. And I thought, oh, isn't that funny? Um, that's actually quite brilliant. I'll have to tell him that you thought about that right away. So there is something to it though, and it is so alien in so many ways. That ability to just chill and be here now. That can be such a huge major challenge to us. But that's where all the juice is. That's where all the nectar, that's where your superpowers reside, is in the now. It's not in the past, it's not in the future. It's right here, right now. And learning to be who you are in the nowosphere, that's the path of initiation to really metaphysical invisibility, to really your ability to show up as more of the parts of you that you don't even know that you are yet, that only begin to sprout as those old patterns of pain, of hurt, of fear, of projections, of judgments, of being bullied, of being a victim, of whatever it is, of all that stuff, as that stuff is allowed to be healed and cleared and cleansed and just seen and honored and felt and expressed and moved through to the other side, then there is a level of that energy being ingested, being digested, being processed. Your initiation of getting to go through those feelings of those experiences are what gives you rise from them and to them. You ingest the medicine, you learn from the experience, you garner wisdom from going through that experience, and you carry that wisdom wherever you go in your life. And that is then walking without the shields of the past, walking without the stories of the victim, of the blame, of the this happened to me in the past, so it's going to happen to me in the future. And so I have to be like this because you know about money and you know what men do and you know what women are like and all of those stories. We drop that shit. That's what we're doing here at this channel. Everything is cutting through the veils of illusion, bringing us closer to truth, bringing us closer to now, to the degree that we're willing and ready to be here now, to enjoy, to relax, to be held, to celebrate, to see love and only love. And so it is. Paloma, hi there again. Me and my ex-boyfriend broke up a few months ago. Is my ex Pisces going to communicate to me soon? Will there be reconciliation? I'm a Leo. Thank you. I remember you from last time, Paloma. Nice to see you again. And then Shapano did write, I would like to know what my love interest feels towards me. Can you please do my reading? I think you missed my question because of so many questions. Okay, thank you for writing it again. Okay, so we'll do these two. Paloma, I remember you from last time. Um, and you know what I am getting? Yeah, because Shabana had written quite a while ago, and I remember seeing it. So we're gonna do Shabana, then we're gonna get to you, Paloma. So blessings and thank you for hopping on and for your patience. So Shabana, you would like to know what your love interest feels towards you. What your love interest feels towards you. So we're gonna take a moment. What does Shabana's love interest feel toward her? I ask for the highest good to be connected with Shabana's higher self, with the higher self of all wisdom rooted in the frequency of love. Well, it's interesting. He also recognizes that there's a ripeness about your relationship. There is a readiness for both of you. In this picture, the fruit has already fallen from the tree. There's a sense of time. And like I was sharing with Kenyatta earlier, that there's these cycles that we go through. And maybe you have a crush on someone and they don't have a crush on you, and then the wheels turn, and then maybe at some point they have a crush on you, but now you're crushing on someone else, or you're going out with someone else. And there's these loops and these cycles, and eventually, perhaps, along the timeline of these cycles, they meet. And there's this balance, and there's this ripeness and this readiness in this card. And what I'm getting from your higher self is this: there is this ripeness for a connection between yourself and this person. Yet what's happening is there's a resistance. So why is he resisting? It feels like there's a lot of mental chatter going on, when ultimately this new level of consciousness is what he knows is the truth. So and I'm assuming it's a he. That's what I'm getting, is a male energy. Why is Shabana's, and I want to make sure I'm saying your name correct so we can get clear downloads. Hello, Sarah. Yes, Shabana. Okay. What your love interest feels towards you. So, there, Shabana, they are feeling ready. They are feeling a connection with you. They are feeling a higher connection with you, which is really, really beautiful. Yet this is a time of silence. So there's a sense of there's something going on. There's something, even though there's a ripeness and a readiness for the two of you, there's a fighting, there's a resistance. So why is this person feeling resistance? Why is this person feeling this resistance or feeling this mental agitation in this situation? We appreciate our angels and guides bringing us clarity on this situation. So there's a burden. What's up with the burden here, Sumbasha? What is this burden that has them bound? It feels like, okay, so there's, what is it? Divine higher self? Osho Zen Tarot. What is the divine? So I'm getting there's someone else without even pulling a card. I'm getting there's someone else, whether it's someone else for you or someone else for them that they have not completed with. And because your name is so beautifully unique, I do need to keep looking here. I want to make sure Shabana, and I pray I'm pronouncing it correctly. So there is a burden here. What is the burden? Because you guys are more than ready to go, but I feel like there's someone else. I feel that there's someone else. Okay, interesting. We have this completion card again with this third eye piece of the puzzle here going in at the center. So there's a cycle, and then we have this rebirth cycle where we go from the dull camel to the lion and back into a sense of innocence as the child. So, higher self, please guide me. Okay, so this is interesting. What I'm getting is that even though there's this ripeness and it's ready, and you both know, I get that you both know, there is still something that is that has not completed, that has not fully turned its cycle again. Here we have these cycles. There's still something, and just as I mentioned in that last reading with this completion card, there's still a missing piece of the puzzle. There's some information that you don't have yet. And again, I feel that there's someone else. Okay. The presence of both of you in one another's life is actually, it's like this card. It's transformation. It's very, very powerful. And so what do we need to know? What do we need to know about this powerful exchange, this powerful transformative power? Okay, so there's some guilt. So for some reason, there is an underlying guilt. Now, whether it is on your side, whether it is on their side, is a whole other question because, and also it feels like there's this paradigm of guilt that someone might be bringing to the table. And this guilt is that which is ready to be transformed. You know, sometimes guilt is the other person. Sometimes guilt is the thing that's hiding in the wings when we get involved with someone new, or even if it's someone that we know. Um, Again, these cycles, right? Does it serve the highest good? We can force into a relationship, we can push into a relationship with someone that we have a fancy or a crush on, yet there's always this divine alignment if we can allow it to be. Because perhaps this other person that I keep feeling, I keep picking up, there's someone else or there's something else, is this guilt, is this layer of guilt that is creating a burden. So it feels that are you placing guilt on them? Are they placing guilt on themselves from a past experience? You know, and what I get about the two of you is this very, very beautiful, beautiful coming together. But right now, at this exact moment, this is about you. This is about you learning how to be you. This is about you Okay, this is about you letting them come to you. So this is definitely not a situation that you want to chase. It is a situation, though, that what is guided is to allow. You and this person have a very powerful psychic connection. Whether they believe in psychic, you know, correlations or ideas or not, there is a very palpable intuition that the two of you share together. And because of this, wherever there's that guilt, whatever it is that someone might be holding or bringing in, it may not be, it doesn't have to be as tragic as they slept with someone else or something, but there's this layer of guilt that they bring to whatever relationship, whether it's you or them, bring to whatever relationship it might be. And that's the thing that is almost complete, that's almost done, and brought into its next cycle of rebirth where transformation can happen. Because as long as this guilt is a part of the relationship, it is like a third person in the relationship, and psychically it will filter into all of the levels of intimacy that reside, and that's a big deal. Yet it does show that the potential for you and this person is very, very powerful, because look at the two of you. This is the creator and flowery. You are so beautiful and so powerful together. Your ability to be loved, his ability to hold you in that love, your ability to be held and to be on fire together is very, very powerful. So it's all here. And the guidance here is to totally be honest, totally be present, be aware. You both know that it can happen. It can actually happen like right now, because you both know who you are. You both know intuitively and psychically that it's going down. But there's also this sense of, because you know it's yours and because you know it's going to happen, not forcing anything. Again, we're coming back to this, let it play itself out, let it unfurl, let it show you. If it's yours, which it feels that the potential for this relationship to happen on another level that it hasn't happened yet is, it feels that that's the trajectory, that everything is lining up and saying, yep, yep. Just know this, though, there's someone's carrying some underlying guilt that has not been completed and it's healing. It's almost there. Yet once that guilt has completed and is erased, so to speak, from the memory, the cellular memory and the projections or the triggers that one of you might be bringing into the relationship, is again to the degree that you guys can relax and enjoy sharing in love and light and intimacy together, because it's here. It's definitely there, right? Yet, it's normal. It's human. We all have layers of self to work out and that we're working on. And sometimes coming into union with the sacred other creates that correct condition for it to happen. But I think higher self is also saying it doesn't have to happen like that. You don't have to be this person's teacher. And in fact, what I'm getting is to be very careful of that, because that is something that you can do very easily. And it's okay to do that. Yet there's a healthy boundary. And this one, again, the guides, your higher self is saying, let him, I'm getting him, whether it's male or female, in that masculine energy, let it come to you. Let it come to you. And wherever there's that guilt, right, it's like it's almost cherishing it. It's creating, they're turning into jewels, into valuables. And the only way, right, to have this feeling of that third chakra just busting open and you being in your power and being able to relax and receive and is to not allow that guilt grid, not allow that tar body, that shadow, that manipulator of all the ways that the illusion of guilt can filter in, to not let it cock block the love, not let it strangle or stifle the presence of ripeness that is there for you. So I pray that that serves you, but there's something rooted in guilt that is not allowed. Higher self is saying this does not have to come into this union. Give it a proper clicking of the cycles. Let this be done. Or consciously, perhaps it's like you with the last reader that we did a couple readers ago, where you get it's on where you know it is your stuff and you're like, oh shit. I gotta let go of that guilt from 10 years ago. Because yeah, no matter this relationship or another crush or another relationship, it's going to follow you. It's going to be with you wherever you go. And you have this opportunity. You're ripe. You're ready. The whole situation is ready. And it looks like a beautiful, beautiful union where you really get each other and you have a very psychic, receptive connection. And that's why be mindful what you bring in, because all of that do, 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 it's just going to be going back and forth. All right. I pray that that truly serves you. Okay. I know, Paloma. Thank you so much for hopping on. He's resisting. Yes, you are pronouncing it correct. Okay, Hala says, what should I do with my Aquarius? He's with someone else, you think. Yes, I do believe in psychic connection. Well, I think, the end, just to finish up with here, Shavana, will he end what he has with someone else and move towards me? Okay, now that I have more, after reading more of your comments, now I have a bigger picture, and it feels that that's the guilt. That's the guilt that he feels. So this is very complex because he does feel that guilt. If you feel that he, excuse me, or if you believe that he actually has a current partner, but you also know there's something between you, I'm going to take a leap and offer that this is his guilt. And clearly, if you are going to become invested in a relationship with someone, there's that old saying of being mindful the way you go into a relationship is sometimes the way you go out. So, do you want to have a triangle relationship? Do you want him to be able to be with this other person while you flirt with him or get intimate? Do you want to be that other woman? Do you want him all to yourself? So there's these very interesting layers going on here that are more complex here now, because there is a connection, there is a psychic connection with you, and it it shows that it's ripe and it's ready to go to that next level. But yet there is that awareness of guilt. He is guilty. He feels guilty for having feelings of attraction towards you, and he has to sort those out. They need to come full cycle in themselves and be rebirthed through him, so that he can be the man, and like they were saying, let him show up. And if anything, this is just simply a validation of your frequency, of your energy, saying that you're ready to have a ripeness, to have a connection with someone sacred. And now, but here's your gateway. Are you willing for that ripeness, for that love, for that romance, for that intimacy to be with as much integrity as it can be, so that it is undistracted by a third wheel of love, that it is only clear and pure and monogamous? Or is this a scene that you are setting? And I know it's difficult, because sometimes where you have feelings, you have a crush, you have a longing for someone, it can be very, very complex. And so there is this, what do I do with this? Yet ultimately, the clarity of a sense of relationship, if this person is already perhaps seeing someone else, then that is something you get to sit with. Because do you want to be that third wheel? Or even if they do leave that person for you, is there a level of integrity that it would serve you? You know, and then allowing them the cycle to have that completion with that partner before they start to date you. And sometimes things aren't always as clean cut as that, but there's the energetic continuums within them, that to the degree that we can meet them and be met perhaps through that sacred other, that we can begin to thread new grid lines of sovereignty, of purity, of taking the high road, of doing things in the highest way as your higher self, so that all the sprouts and all the flowers and all the love that grows from that point on is rooted in that integrity and not from hidden secrecy, more guilt, secrets. I think you know what I'm saying. Okay. Hala says it's Paloma's turn. I love this. I love this. You guys are awesome. Okay. Hala says, can I put an order? Yes, you may. And it's Paloma's turn. So we're going to go to Paloma. And Hala, it looks like you've said, what should I do with my Aquarius? But let's just pop back over to Paloma here. Me and my ex-boyfriend broke up a few months ago. Is my ex Pisces going to communicate to me soon? Will there be reconciliation? I'm a Leo. Thank you. Paloma, I remember you from last month. And if I recall correctly, the guidance was higher self was urging you to embody the goddess, to be the goddess, to take care of yourself, to become magnetic in your presence, to not give so much thought and mind about this ex. And let's see, they are a Pisces, you are a Leo. And I remember this. I remember this from last month. So divine higher self, what is the divine guidance for Paloma now? So we had one card fall out. So there's politics. Someone's not being honest or fully honest. And the moment that honesty is allowed to be, there is mastery. And you know what I'm getting? And as always, just forgive me, but I just speak the divine guidance as it comes to me and for the highest good. But what I'm getting, Paloma, and maybe this is your New Year gift from me to you, from your higher self to your 3D self, is you know that he's not the one. It feels like a part of you already knows that you actually really don't want him back. Like you'd like him back because that would validate a sense of knowing that you know that he likes you, that he's into you, which he is. Yet he's not the one. And I feel that you know that, yet you're not being completely honest with yourself. And there's a couple with the politics card, there's like some masks, you know. And I know when you're into someone or there isn't a new love interest just yet, you know, we still play off of that person from before, even if sometimes we know better and that there is better for us. And that's what I'm getting, is there's better for you. And the moment that you allow yourself to lay the masks down and accept, it's almost like it doesn't matter whether he comes back or not, because if you accept this person coming back to you, it's almost like you're not listening to your higher self, which is saying, you know better. You know better than to settle, is what I'm getting for this level of relationship, for this person. While they were good and had good intentions, it feels that the dance that you've done together is done if you would allow it. There's a master within you, Paloma. There's like, remember, and last month I remember getting this very powerful goddess energy with you, that you are you're en route to feeling, yet there's some healing that gets to be done along the way. So this is kind of deep because we have this clinging to the past again. So again, as long as you are wearing the mask of looking at the past, of thinking that you want him back, because higher self is chiming in and saying you really don't want him back. You want the idea of him back, yet there's more for you There's a theme now going with these relationship questions. There's more there for you. And I get that you've actually done quite a lot of work on yourself. And the guidance is to keep doing it, keep being clear, keep mastering yourself. But this gift here of this relationship, of this situation is truly here that you can continue mastering your mind, mastering your life experiences. He's a great distraction. He's a great distraction, which keeps you locked into the past, but it's all illusion. It's not true. It's not true. Your true spirit is this. And when you reset to this, I feel that somehow, we go through these cycles again with these exes or with these ex crushes or whatever it might be. And until until we make that decision to just allow it to be done, then we have no idea of all the blessings and how joyful that life can be. It's like we give so much of our time and our energy away to the past or to that person, that situation, even though a part of us knows. And if you don't know, and now you could completely disagree with me, and everything I share is just for the highest good and totally from a place of love, but I just share what I get. And i- until you're ready to be honest with yourself and say, like, you know what? It is true. It is just the idea of this person more than that actual person. It is all the qualities and the things that they seemingly had together, but they just didn't really have it all together enough to keep matching you. Okay, so this is what I get. I get that you have been practicing being a master more than that ex of yours. And so there's this aspect, right? As you grow spiritually, your partner is either going to acclimate, and they don't have to do the same things you do. They don't have to meditate and do whatever yoga. They might just be a good person, a kind person, and that's their way of being and embodying that in the world. Yet if you're in partnership and they don't energetically match you, then there's going to be a rift, right? And then sometimes it's just that little rocking of the boat. So everyone learns the new frequency. And then we're like, oh, we learned to harmonize and those new frequencies. And sometimes it's rocky waters, and it keeps being rocky waters because the tipping point is off. And anyway, so it feels that you are growing and you keep growing, even if you still think about this person, and you might have a little bit of that dream energy where you romantically fantasize about like being back with them, which is totally natural and fine. Yet it's saying, like, that's just a distraction. And there's better for you. There's that you can have a new experience, and to recognize that you've been doing so much work on yourself, and keep going is the message. Keep going. Keep going. Because to set your sights on the past and to have a certain expectation that's good, yet there's so much more, that's only going to bring you back into more of those experiences. This is really powerful. So what's coming right around the corner for you, as soon as you relinquish the need for this ex to come back, what's waiting for you is this new friend, is an invitation, is a new level of friendliness. And let's see if this friendliness, this person where you get to experience intimacy and mastery and exchange and be seen in that way. I get that this is here for you. Now, is this person, oh, there's a healing. There's a healing in you that this new friend, now this could be a very new friend that you have this instant past life connection of, like, oh my God, where they see you, they get you, and they're a healer, and all of a sudden they're like, come on, come over this Saturday, let me do a Reiki healing on you. And you're like, oh my God. And I feel like there's someone close by. The moment that you surrender and say, you know what, for the highest good, help me God, or whatever your people are, whoever your love beings are, help me to release this, help me to see things differently, help me to let him go for the highest good. If that's what you really want, if you want to hold on, by all means keep holding on. But I feel at the moment that you just surrender and you're like, okay, let me just, like, for 2019, let me let go of this ex so that new energy can come in, so I can know who I am as this growing master, as this version of myself that I'm dropping all the politics, I'm dropping the bullshit. I'm just being really clear about who I am. So help me. This is a part of it. Help me, love. Help me, my angels, to let this version of that person go. As soon as you do that, it's like the angels come in and they're like, okay, we got you. This relationship with a friend that you've known forever is actually going into a deeper gear. You guys are going to lean on each other, heal each other, and connect, and you're going to be more honest. Or this is a completely new person that's coming in and that's like, boom, I see you. I got you. Instant connection. Let me share healing with you. There's going to be an offering of healing for you, Paloma, with regard to this. Again, but what triggers it, what creates the correct conditions for it to come to you and be allowed by you is your ability to say, you know what, I'm going to let go of this ex. I'm just with the best that I can. I'm going to let go of feeling that I need this person to return. And look at what's here then is nothingness. This is where you're invited is to get back to this place of not knowing, of having no idea, of having no preference. And sometimes that's not what we want to hear, but sometimes hearing those things really do serve us. And from that, look what came out, Paloma. Oh my God. Okay. The Lover's card does not come out all the time in this Osho Zen. If you watch my tarot videos once, maybe twice a year, does the card even come out in our weekly readings? It came out today. So again, what I'm getting is as you let that ex go, girl, let him go, girl. Because there's a new love waiting, just like it's calibrating. Yet again, like our other readings here, there's always a resonance, right? There's always a thread. If you're distracted and you keep looking at the past, then wherever you go, you're going to be wanting to see that ex or trying to conjure them or just creating space for them when they're gone. They're an ex because they're not here anymore. And the greater to the degree that you keep mastering up, keep goddessing up, keep embodying your inner goddess, keep doing your meditations or whatever your practices are that keep you in tune with love and with loving yourself, respecting yourself, and trusting. You get into that, you get into that zone of nothingness where you can really hear the whispers, the soft whispers of your higher self. Okay. And relaxing into that is exactly where that higher love is going to come in because you're a master now. This ex does not match you spiritually. So I pray that that serves you, Paloma. This is going to be interesting. Keep hopping on every month. Let us know. Let us know the novella of your growth. This is really powerful, you know, and I think it speaks to a lot of us that there's these cycles. You know, I know married couples and where one of the partners is accelerating or doing spiritual studies or becoming a Buddhist or doing classes or becoming a healer or something like that. And they start to heal their lives. And where the other partner is invited to do the same, there's no pressure yet. Again, vibrationally, you know, if they're not a match for you, they're just not a match for you. And it's either going to be, you know, in a lot of ways, perhaps a challenging relationship ongoing, or you guys are going to sync up. And it doesn't mean that they have to do what you do to heal your life, but they start to chip away and the balance point happens so that there's an equality, an equanimity in the relationship. And everyone's doing their own practice of self-love. And you deserve that, Paloma. You deserve someone loving themselves so that they can love you wholly. And really, it's about being in the presence of love. That's what I feel. I feel that the greatest love, right, in intimate relation, whether you're sexual or not with them, is to be such a clear conduit and channel for love, to have the ability to choose it so consciously through our thoughts, our words, our actions, just to be open to that experience in every situation that we can have. And sometimes it takes a sacred other, a special other to really calibrate that, to light that, to ignite that for us. But our ability to be in the presence of love with someone we love, now that's hot. So I'll leave you with that, my dear. Okay. I would like to know what my love interest feels towards me. Can you please do my reading? So, okay, wait, that was Shavana. We did that. And then I believe, oh yes, Hala, blessings. Can I put an order? I love that. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but may you answer my question. Karasha, yes, it's true. This makes sense. Okay, blessings, Paloma. Ah, okay, Sunny. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So I see NKM, but I know it's Hala. So Hala, let me see. You want to know. And if there's a little bit more that you want to add on, please do. I'm just scrolling here. Oh, message retracted. Maybe you took your question away. Let's just look here. Okay, I think you have retracted your question. So I'm going to do one more and then we're going to end. So from NKM, how long till my ex cancer reaches out? NKM, thank you for being here. How long till your ex cancer reaches out? Well, I'm getting that they're thinking about you as we speak right now. Cancerians are very intuitive. Letting go. Wow, this is just a theme today, letting go. So, what I'm getting is that your ex might reach out, yet it's done. It's done. And you are invited to move on to seeing your life without this person anymore so that you can be bridged with new possibilities of self, new possibilities that the universe wants to serve you and give you and gift you. But they do think of you. And I feel like they could reach out to you today. They reach out to you all the time through their inner voice. Much like this last reading, there is there is a very intuitive connection between you and them. And I feel like they could call you right now. I feel like they could hit you up with an email right now. And you know what you're left with is a very beautiful, you're left with a very, very beautiful connection. It's so interesting. You know, I shuffle and the same cards come out so often. So this is the two of you. It feels that you've been very patient. You've been allowing for this cycle of completion for the two of you to happen, and it has been a healing. Again, so many parallels with so many other readings. Yet, the way to your full power, to your flowering of self, to this new identity, identification, and realization of self is to consciously begin to think in different ways and to consciously begin to make changes in your world that will truly serve you. And I almost see this person, while they could call you later and while they could show up at any time, there's a part of you that has not moved through the gateway completely yet. There's a part of you that is postponing. Yet what I'm getting is that your higher self is saying, you're ready. You're ready. It feels almost that you've been afraid to, you've been afraid to let go. And you know what? You're not going to lose them. I feel that what you have now with this person, with this ex, is, and let me just make sure, I want to make sure that you had inquired about an ex. He is my twin flame with my Aquarius. Would you read for me with my Aquarius? He is my twin flame. Both have karmic relationship. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, your twin flame. You know, it's so interesting because twin flames, and I did say I'd be doing a show on twin flames in the new year. It is such a complex situation. Twin flames go through cycles, and there will be times that you will both be at the same time and space together and sharing that. And there will be time that the universe, your karmas, your lessons in life will take you seemingly further apart. But ultimately, it's all that you can sink into being that one again. So, with twin flames, there's this idea that you are one soul cut in half. Yet, as we understand the universe in the way of a hologram, all is contained in each and every part and reflects the whole. So it's not that you need this person to make you one, to make you whole, because you already are that. Though there is a sense in the 3D, in this world plane, that the longing is still there, that there's a cycle that you've been through together. And the last part of the cycle is in this letting go phase. Whatever happened in this last phase requires your honoring of it. And again, that sweet releasing. And if he is your twin flame, then there's nothing that can be undone about it. If that is the truth, then that will always be in this life. And it's undeniable. And again, I do feel that you have a very beautiful psychic connection, a very clear, uh, energetic connection with this person. You've been very patient with them. You've been very, very patient with them and with this cycle. Yet, with the ending of this cycle comes a new one. And it's almost as if there is this new level of you being invited to be the fool, where this is the only way. I'm going to tell you something. This is the only way to allow that relationship to be everything it can be. It's by having no expectations at all. The master. Having no expectations from him. And look at, I just shuffled and it's back again. Friendliness. So you both have this divine connection. I'm going to keep shuffling. There is a very powerful knowing. Yet, like all things, there's a cycle. Now, okay, and there's a new vision. So there's a new vision that's waiting to happen there's a new part of the blueprint. So in the relationship as twin flames together, I feel that as we recognize our twin flames and as they become ignited, whether you call it twin flame or not, when you recognize yourself in the other person and they recognize themselves in you, whatever names you want to call it, and that you are an extension of one another, an active intimacy is allowed then to take place through which the fire of that intimacy connects you. Yet that fire is so profound and so powerful, and not always are twin flames given perfect fantasy conditions to experience the intimacy, the boundless, beautiful places of being held, of resting, of being seen. Your twin flame sees you. You see them. Clearly, you have roots together. Your branches and roots merge, yet you stand alone. Again, you two are one, yet you don't need the other one to make you whole. You are a master in and of yourself, and so is that other person. There's a very beautiful balance. Yet, like with all twin flame relations, there are cycles. And so, what is this cycle? We can ask, what is this cycle that's ready to be done? Because there's a new vision that's ready to be birthed. and it'll be here. I'm getting, time is such a tricky thing with the cards, and divining, oracularing, visioning. Yet, and these chunk just fell out as I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. What I'm getting is that by March, and I know that might seem very far away, but it's only January, February, a couple months. There's a lot that gets to happen in this cycle of change. Sometimes those change cycles happen immediately, and sometimes there's the clicking, there's the planets, there's the eclipses, there's things that get to happen within us and then within the other, within our sacred other of our twin flame, that create the correct conditions for this transformation, so that new next level of where you are both to be at in relationship with each other can happen. And it's so interesting because I get traveling for the two of you. There could very well be an opportunity for the two of you to go away together or spend time together outside of your usual domain, and whether it is just to the beach, a drive to the mountains, but somewhere that's outside of the way that you usually see each other or meet up is going to be it's going to behoove the recalibration and like the regeneration of this next level of your twin flameness. You both see it, you both feel it. Again, very parallel to earlier. You both see it, you both feel it. It's ripe, it's ready, but it's ready for that turn. And here's the success. So what I do get is that the wheels of fate are turning in your favor. They're turning in their favor. They're turning in you as a twin flame unit in your favor. And what that means is that the level of intimacy, of being seen by one another, of honesty, of communicating with greater and greater clarity as the master, as mastering. I don't know if you speak twin flame with this twin flame of yours, but it's the idea, the energetic blueprint of them knowing that that's what they are too, that they are your other half and that you are their other half. Now, however it's going to play out, physically, sexually, or intimately, or you could be married and have kids and they could be living halfway across the world. Twin flames are very, very interesting. Yet the point is that where you are ready to go together is ready to take you. It's ready to take you. And let go of what has been. Allow things to change so that in this new year, as we enter this vortex, this portal, you can be bridged and met with ease and with grace, the correct conditions, so that the two of you can really recognize what this is. Um, in the 3D, in this world that we live in, time is limited. Now we know on a 4D level that time doesn't exist. Yet this letting go that will allow for this new growth between you, almost like fertilizer for your twin flameness relationship, is both of you again being very clear and being able to recognize the power, the nectar, the sweetness, the unquestionable union that you are together. When both of you get that, and it's okay if it doesn't happen, but it shows that there's this next level of like of growth together, and where you're like, I see this, I really see you, I know you. If you're both going, oh shit, you're my other half in that way, you are my twin flame, that it feels like that's what's ready to happen. And whether you actually say it out loud, or you're just, know it, and you know it of each other, you know it psychically, energetically of each other, it feels that that is this next rung of the ladder of ascension for this relationship, this twin flame relationship to happen. Yet again, for a lot of us, there's this letting go of what has been, letting go closing that chapter so a new one can open. Time is limited in the 3D. More than what I'm getting from your higher self is more than telling them how much you love them, is show them sincerely. Doesn't mean showering them with gifts. There's an energy that is imbibed and imbued and bestowed that is natural, and it's full of grace. It's not saccharine. It is genuine and authentic. And that's what's ready to be shown. And I feel that as you relax and offer your love, this person can relax in this new year, between this period between now and March, can relax into how they feel that that feels for them too, and reflect that back to you, because there is this next level of growth for the two of you that is so beautiful, just to be in the presence of knowing. And I do feel a little bit that time is of the essence in 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 not now. There's still this completion of this letting go to happen, but I do feel this sense, and the candle just went out, that there's this time is of the essence. I feel that everything, to the degree that we want to make it a sign, is. And I feel that this is a sign also that we're done here with the show today, but also don't wait. Don't wait. Once that cycle has clicked, and you know that the new ground is fertilized, and that shift has really occurred without forcing or pulling the shoots from the ground. If you understand, when you plant seeds and then we go and we look, and there's the story of like that there's a one farmer that's trying to make the shoots grow of the new seeds, get the new sprouts, and the other farmer just relaxes, waters the lawn, allows things to be. And it is when we allow things to be is when they are most potent and powerful. And so this love, this twin flame realization, wants to be realized between the two of you. But in order for it to have its maximal power, for the two of you to do the work, because twin flames don't just come here to be twin flames, they come here to do work together. So whatever this work is that you have to do, that you get to do together, it's going to reveal itself after this next cycle of letting go what it has been and what it has not been from the past, because it's getting ready to reset, to transform. And so that you can be shown, and that you can show this person how much you love them. Again, to be in love with love, and to be in the presence of love with someone you love, that is love. And it's very profound. I feel, that is very congruent and aligned with the sense of this twin flame love. Because it's not always easy, twin flame love. There's complex situations abound quite often. You're both in love with each other, but there's other people, there's relationships, there's children, there's sexuality, there's all sorts of things. So I pray that has served you, Hala. And I really appreciate your presence here and all of your retracted messages. It seems you hopped on and you got what you needed. Okay, you start to suspect everything. A lot of messages retracted. Yeah, girl, I know. You're leaving a clean slate. I totally understand that. But I start to suspect everything. I felt it once I enter the room. So, we speak but met just once. Are we on the same page? Okay. So blessings, Juliet. So again, I pray that everything that I offered to you, Hala, I know you had retracted a lot of your messages, but that serves you. And it may serve the continuum of other folks watching this afternoon. Um, you know, and we get to ask ourselves, is everyone you meet, do they all feel like twin flames? I know I had never really thought about that consideration until a certain point of my life. And it's pretty serious, and if this person is not your twin flame, then it's preparing you for what that real feeling is like, for what that real work is. So again, blessings and thank you. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. I'm actually wrapping up today. I do this Q&A once a month. I'm just going to say hello to Juliet. Blessings, Jamie. Mia is LOLing here in the middle. Yeah. I appreciate everything. And Jamie just saying you're being judged for something that you're into. How do you deal with it when it comes to people? Oh, I helped you a lot. Okay, blessings, Hala. I'm so grateful. I'm so glad that resonated. You know, and thank you, everyone. And I'm just going to announce to you and let you know that this live stream, 4D Trinity, is I go live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is a place where we meet to speak about all things spiritual, metaphysical, multidimensional, get to know who we are from a space of the heart, of trusting the power, the majesty, and the mystical calling that is always inlaid, the visions, the feelings, the intuitions in our heart. And we learn how to navigate that path. We learn how to see light in the dark. We learn how to activate our third eye in conjunction with the heart center through all of the teachings and everything that I share here. And so, just so you know, that's what we do. 3 weeks out of 4 on this channel. And once a month, every fourth show, I do an Ask Me Anything, How Can I Help? Where I channel, I connect with your higher self, I connect the divine white light wisdom in conjunction with any guidance offered through the Osho Zen Tarot. So I thank you, everyone. I know there's a bunch of new people here. I saw there's a few subscribers during the show. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the bell. All of my information is in the description box. I have some free books for you, and I also have a couple books that you can purchase. Join my Join my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, and you will receive my monthly love letter. I send it out once a month with my blog and offerings and clippings and worksheets and all sorts of stuff. So I'd love to see you there. So please do keep in touch. I offer a weekly tarot, which I will be getting ready for this week's tarot coming up to offer that to you. So thank you, everyone. Again, our next live stream that will be a Q&A will be in 4 weeks' time. I guess we can look up the date for that just so that you know. And in the meantime, if you do have questions for that, you can email them to me to my email box below. My email and all of my information is down below. And I'll just look at the calendar just so we know what day. Because I know some of you just hang out and you appreciate the tarots and some of the other offerings, but I know some of us are just really into this Q&A, which I honor. And I'm very grateful to be here and to share with you. So it looks like it will be the 24th of January will be our next Q&A. So thank you, everyone, for hopping on. And I just don't know how to really be normal about it or talk to people about it. Oh, that's hilarious, Jamie. Okay. Well, you know, honey, to wedge or not to wedge, you can ask your higher self. I invite you to meditate on that very, very deep question. And with great sincerity, I thank you. And I bless everyone for joining this morning. I love and I bless this community. I appreciate the sincerity and the depth of intimacy that we're building here. And, I just bless all the rest. So thank you, everyone, with so much love and so much light. I wish you a very blessed New Year's, and I'll see you soon. Namaste with so much love. Swami. Here's the Swami.